Our state has some incredible problems. My name is Lynn Hinderrocker. I'm here to talk about that with you and talk about the trends that have shaped this state and dragged us in one direction or another. We're not really we're not realizing the dream we had way back in the early 2000s or even around 2008 or 9 or 10. My name is Lynn Hinderrocker. Welcome to Wild Biz Nebraska. We're going to get it on right now. Do you know what you don't know? Well, hang in there if you don't know exactly what I'm talking about. My name is Lynn Hinderrocker. This is Wild Biz Nebraska. And yes, Bruce Arent is finally back with us again. Good to see you, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure to have you here, and the show really rolls better when you're here. And I know this is going to be a particularly good show. We haven't done our show together for a few weeks now.
It's been a while, yeah.
Yeah, so we're fresh. Yeah. And we have a lot to talk about, but I'm going to jump right out here and share with our audience. I must say, I do my share of reading,
right?
And but this is the best book, Bruce, I've read in 10 years. Right?
You've read a couple of my picture books,
right? With that exception.
Oh, okay, yeah.
With that exception,
okay.
And the poetry sticks with me. I got to tell you. No, this is by Adam Grant. By the way, he's a prolific writer. He was in Harvard back in the days when Mark Zuckerberg was just developing Facebook, by the way. Kind of an interesting thing. But what he talks about here, the name of the book is, as you know, Think Again by Adam Grant. I would really encourage you, even if you don't do a lot of reading out of books these days, go out and buy this book by Adam Grant. Now, Bruce, I'm going to read you one quote from the inside flap.
Okay.
I'm going to let you read another one.
Okay.
And then we'll just talk briefly here for a minute about the relevance and the power of what he's saying right here.
Okay.
Can I do that?
Sure.
Here we go. The brighter we are, that would refer to you, by the way.
Right.
The brighter we are, the blinder to our own limitations we can become. Huh?
That makes sense.
Whoa, well, a lot of people I know are pretty bright would say that doesn't makes them feel uncomfortable. Now, I'm going to let you go ahead and read.
I almost feel like the word bright, though, you could replace it with wisdom or wise.
Yeah?
The wiser you are, the blinder you are to your limitations.
Well, I would hope wisdom would go above intellectual, cognitive intelligence.
But I mean, you feel like you could...
You know it.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's really frightening to have somebody imply that that's not actually correct.
True.
Go ahead and read that second one.
Let's see. Argue like he's right, but listen like he's wrong.
Yeah. Wow, I've never heard anything like that before.
Argue
like you're right, but listen as if you're wrong. Right? So what does that mean to you?
To me, it means you keep an open mind.
Yeah.
When you're talking with somebody, like to listen like you're wrong.
Yeah.
So that you recognize that you don't know everything.
Yeah.
But argue like you're right.
Argue like you're right. So in other words, defend where you're at. That's the current mode.
Okay.
But when you listen like you're wrong, now you're ready to move into the future.
Okay.
Maybe in 5 minutes from now, your whole life could change.
Right.
Your whole belief system or some particular fact upon which you hang your life, that could change.
But you recognize that, I guess it's a state of humility, really.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And the more humble you are, the more open you are. The more
Right.
open you are, the more you have potential to
easily
learn.
Enlightened by new things.
Yes,
Right.
Okay. It's really quite a book. And I got to tell you before we move fast, if you're a salesperson and you're struggling to get in front of a client, or maybe the person is kind of indifferent to your overtures, Think Again by Adam Grant. If you could get just a paragraph or a couple phrases from this book in front of that person, it might open them up.
Yeah.
Because it's so profound, it's so wise. If you're a buyer, and you assume, we're going to buy you, we're going to buy here, this is really the best for us, think again. Think again. There's always potential for a broader sense of awareness.
Because think of how much we miss
in
life. Because we think we know, and some things we do know, but then a lot of times we're just conditioned
I'm
to
increasingly
ourselves.
aware of this, by the way,
Right?
how little I know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to what's been going on recently, if you don't mind. And both of the topics we're going to discuss today are somewhat complex. I'm going to share the strategy with which Nebraska and some people that I'm working with are coming at these complex problems.
Okay.
And I encourage you to challenge, to force me to think again,
right?
All right. So the first one, we all know that for the last 50 years or so, North Omaha has struggled with some chronic issues, very difficult situation for all of them. Poverty, violence, and sometimes child development and child support kind of isn't there.
Right.
And unemployment in many cases as well. So we have an opportunity now as Senators Justin Wayne and Terrell McKinney, excuse me, two of the senators that are responsible for that part of our city and our state, have been able to work very hard, and they're attracting federal funds that have been granted now. This money is in the cloud. I mean, theoretically, it's going to be...
but it's unlocked, so they can
It's going to be unlocked.
Okay.
And that's a surety. Okay. So it's $175 million.
That's more than I make in a year.
No, couldn't be. But $350 million is the total amount. 175 going to South Omaha, 175 million going to North Omaha.
That's awesome.
It's an incredible amount. And there are some very interesting discussions about how it's going to be more easily leveraged and more efficient distribution of those funds in South Omaha than in North Omaha. That's a sidebar conversation in this. But anyway, so the concept and the challenge that Justin Wayne and Terrell McKinney have is what do we do with this money? What's the appropriate way to distribute, and how do we help? And now I'm going to get to the punchline of the whole morning, right? It's not just for North Omaha. See, this is a real kicker. Olson Engineering has been hired for over $1 million to kind of organize all the planning and preparatory. And they threw up a slide that said the real goal, Bruce, the real goal is to attract young professionals to Omaha and to North Omaha.
Sounds like Urban Natural.
Yeah, we're going there. We're going there. Sounds like Urban Natural, Bruce said. So if you don't know what Urban Natural is, hang around for this show here real briefly. Here's the problem, and this is a very tense thing. If you pretend you're Justin Wayne, Senator Justin Wayne, I've known him and chatted with him a few times. He's got to find a way to somehow do something to improve North Omaha. Yeah. There's a lot of issues there. I saw one after another for 3 minutes stand in front of the senators and say, I'm from a healthcare, I'm from an affordable housing operation, I'm a construction guy and I need some money so I can hire some people and get my company going. A lot of individual requests.
Right.
And for like I said, businesses and situations in North Omaha. But again, this money is federal money and it's money coming through the state and so on. And as you know, Bruce, our biggest problem in the state of Nebraska, whether it's Omaha or whatever, is population issues. Yeah. We're flat population, and some of our best and our brightest top-tier workers are leaving the state every year. 3,500 at last count, and there's more than that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be, yeah.
So that's a big problem, see? So somehow we've got think about Justin Wayne. He's got to figure out a way to use some portion or all of it, whatever, to figure out a way to get young professionals, software developers, engineers, people like that, knowledge workers, to come into Omaha, to stay in Omaha, and maybe to go to North Omaha. Right. And at the same time, figure out a way to solve problems. Huh?
He's got a lot on his plate. But,
but
what a great thing to do.
Well, let's hope we can do it, right?
Yeah.
The first thing Olson Engineering told me when I chatted with him briefly about it is, this isn't nearly enough money, not even close.
Really?
We're going to spread it all out, and there'll be not enough to do any one thing. So part of the unspoken agenda is we're going to have to be able. Somebody's going to have to go knock on the door of Kiewit, some of our philanthropic groups, Exarban and so on, and say, we'd like you to pony up and maybe match or whatever.
Be a part of this.
Yeah, be a part of this and help this really happen.
Wow.
So that's a part of it. And then, like I said, the other piece is how do we get these, I'll call them top tier workers, maybe they're from out of state, to get them to come to Omaha and go to North Omaha.
And the timing might be just really good because Omaha really is coming into its own with a lot of things that are going on.
Yes.
And I think it's becoming more and more of an attractive city to people.
Well, let's hope other people see it that way. I would agree.
I think it really has been. So I think it's been coming on.
Yeah.
So hopefully things will time out correctly so they can.
So here's our approach.
Okay.
We're coming at this, right? We are coming at it. We have a vision. I sat down in front of all the senators. They're right there. They're like, what's this guy going to say, right?
Yeah.
And my comments was, all these people, good people, they have a lot of worthwhile, programs and projects and agendas, and all of them are outstanding. But there has to be some kind of overarching coherence, some kind of a strategy, some kind of a big picture thing that pulls it all together.
Right.
Otherwise, we just have more fragmentation and confusion and, well, you got more and I deserve more and all of that nonsense. Right. So we've developed, here's our notion, we want to build a 4-story building that would be a magnet. It'll be urban natural architecture. So a lot of wood and metal, wood and glass, wood and stone. A lot of greenery. A lot of, there's some water features that are actually in the building and then go underneath the wall and they're outside. So a real kind of natural feel for the place. And then we're going to do a lot of training. So you say, I'm going to move my company into this place. I'm going to office there.
Wow.
Yeah. And if you do that, you get free, ongoing training and coaching.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Not a bad deal.
In terms of the whole
business strategy,
business
innovation, hiring practices, planning, you know, all the things, legal stuff, insurance, all these things that are required to bolster the professionalism and efficacy of your business.
It could be kind of a nucleus for the whole thing.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, it would have a magnetic, and then in the middle there would be an open level forum type of thing, which is where once a week we'd have people come in, we'd have some topic, and have everybody speak, and we have technology, research technology, and so people would have buttons. You say, well, do you think a mayor should go on and run for a second term, yes or no? Boom, it comes up graphically, and so then people say, everybody thinks they should, but I don't think they should. Let's talk more about that.
Wow. So were you able to actually present this entire concept to these guys?
Well,
or part of it?
We're writing it up.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got a deck, we've got a PowerPoint.
Okay.
We'd love to share with you. And we met today with a brilliant architect who's very excited about being involved and is going to help us create a few of the drawings so people get a sense of this is what this place would look like.
Visualize it.
Visualize it. And we think we can mix and meld people from opposite ends of the economic spectrum and help them come together and create innovation, which is the single biggest weakness the entire state of Nebraska has. We don't want to innovate. Unfortunately, we don't know how to keep people in the state because we just soon not innovate.
Is there a time frame for this?
2.5 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, wow. 2.5 years. So we're gonna step up here, but we've got a deadline here in 2 weeks. So the full application, everything. This is what we've got. This is how we'd work it.
Wow.
And we're creating a team, a Nebraska team, and Urban Natural Design would be part of that, obviously. Isn't that something?
I think it's incredible because if this is what Omaha really needs. I mean, because that would be wonderful.
This would be new era, man.
Oh my, yeah.
This would be a new kind of really at the cutting edge. We're very excited to be part of the process. But then it goes to the legislature, and that's going to be all through next spring before the money actually, before it's approved and it actually goes.
Which is the way it has to.
That's how it goes in government today. But keep your eye out for North Omaha project and Nebraska's potential role.
Very cool. You can be involved in this.
Oh, I'm so thrilled.
I mean, this is great.
I told the guy this is the culmination of possibly the culmination of my entire career.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how excited I am about it. Something that really lasts, legacy, all that.
Right. Makes a difference in people's lives.
Oh, my goodness. You can't do better than that.
No.
All right, Bruce Arent, my good friend here, commentator, and helping us understand and digest the process in the North Omaha transformation. I emphasize that word, transformation. We're not talking about incremental, we're talking exponential.
Yeah.
Right. So thank you so much for chatting with me about that. And I'm going to join you here in just a second.
Okay. We're
going to talk about our promotional sponsor right here for WildBiz Nebraska, if you don't mind. The sponsor of this particular show is called Urban Natural America. Let me say that again. Urban Natural America. It's on urbannaturalamerika.com. It's just as it sounds, by the way, phonetically, URBANATURAL, America.com. And Urban Natural America is a new paradigm approach towards civic revitalization and the development, in fact, of redesigning downtown and pulling wellness and sustainability right into the core of any community in the state of Nebraska. And by the way, outside of Nebraska for this particular thing, we call it Urban Natural America for a reason. Of course, we'd like to see it all over the country. And so if your community wants to attract people, you say, hey, by the way, we're doing the whole Urban Natural thing. We've got the whole community redesigned after a couple of years. It's all very urban natural. Could be somebody in New Jersey or somebody in Los Angeles says, you guys are Urban Natural? We might want to come see you. I don't care if it's Fairbury, if it's Beatrice, Alliance, any one of them can be Urban Natural. And we're talking now about focusing in particular. I'm going to wrap this up after I make this point. It was amazing that I visited today with somebody, very bright man. He'd never heard this idea before. So I'm going to tell this to you really quick. If you are the manufacturer, for instance, of a product that is sold in the drugstore, right? And you don't just go off and create the product and the packaging and the box. You don't go do that. The first thing you do is, who are we going to sell it to, right? Who's our customer? And how are they different from other people? What do they like? What are their preferences? What are their values? All that, you know. Then you go make the product, right? So that it is seen and recognized and preferred by your target audience, right? Everybody goes, yeah, I understand that. And then I lean forward and I say, by the way, your community, your town, your village, your city, whatever, is a product on a shelf. And if you're looking for the leaders of our society over the next 20 to 40 years, you're looking for Urban Natural people. They care about wellness, they care about sustainability, they care about integrity, they care about authenticity, they care about whole foods, kind of organic stuff. That's what they care about. That's what they want from your organization, your downtown, your community. So you got to get to know who those people are, then you can package your product, your city, your downtown, put it on the shelf and say, that looks like the kind of product that these people would want to buy. Now, most people, Mr. Mayor, Chamber, Economic Development people, are not thinking along this line, so this is a little shock. Think like the customer, focus on a very specific kind of customer. We suggest they're the Urban Natural people that are 20 to 44 these days, and redo your community and get on it to appeal to these young Urban Natural knowledge workers, and you will be around 30, 40 years from now. If you choose to ignore what I'm sharing with you, you're not going to have a good time insofar as marketing and design is concerned, and your town may suffer long term. So think about Urban Natural America. Go to urbannaturalamerika.com, check it out, say these are the people we want, this is how our community is going to have to look, this is the design and architecture and landscaping we're going to have to put into our community, and we're going to have to get it done now. Wherever we get the money, let's get it done now so we can go out and confidently market our product or community to these high potential knowledge workers here in America, 50 million of them waiting to be heard from you. Huh?
That principle does carry over.
You can't miss that.
Yeah, the principle.
It's so obvious, but
ways.
It's surprising how many municipal and civic officials have never really thought about it that way.
Yeah, but it is a product.
It's a product.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Hey, Bruce Arendt, you know, the last 2.5 years during the pandemic was a very difficult time for the officing industry, you know, and the commercial offices, facility management, and especially the commercial office furnishings industry.
Oh, I can't imagine.
Huh?
I mean, there's nobody.
How do you sell furniture when all the workers are home and don't want to come back?
Right. We've never seen something like this.
This is so fascinating. It's a paradoxical situation. And, you know, owners and managers, they're looking at the numbers and they're saying, now, what really happened here? Productivity went up 5%.
Yeah.
The people that are working at home remotely are getting a little bit more done.
Yeah.
Right. So now that really makes them feel uncomfortable because they got rent. They're paying rent, this big room, these big offices, all these cubicles and stuff.
It's upside down from where it was.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And they're struggling to get them back.
Yeah.
Now, in fact, it's interesting. Managers are the ones that want to get back. But the hourly workers and so on, mid-level and down, yeah, they want to stay. They want to continue working from their bedroom or whatever. Yeah. So we've been thinking about this.
Yeah.
We have a solution.
You do.
We have a solution. Yes, we do. But it's not a handy-dandy solution. I mean, it's multifaceted because this is a multifaceted issue.
Oh, so complex.
Oh, my God. So here's the thing. Let's pretend you're by the way, let's pretend you're the CEO of Steelcase.
Okay.
Which, by the way, has been for many years the #1 office furnishings brand. They fell to #2. Okay. Things are disrupting. That's a big time. Wow. That's a big deal. And Herman Miller, who's a very well-respected brand, and Knoll, Knoll, they're another well-respected brand. Right. They merged all right, because they lost almost 50-60% of their business.
Nolan,
so those
Herman,
two competitive companies,
Nolan, Herman Miller?
Herman Miller and Knoll,
Okay.
now it's called Miller Knoll.
Oh.
That's the name of the firm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh.
So they're biggest now because they've got the two companies together.
Yeah, yeah.
Then there's Steelcase. And then there's the others, All Steel, Hayworth, some of these other very venerable brands. They're all sitting around going, what do we do? Our office furnishings dealers out in Kearney, Nebraska or whatever, they're not calling for any orders. No order. We've got backup here. We've got a lot of equipment. Nobody wants to buy it.
All the way down the line.
Right, all the way down. It just ripples down.
Yep.
So here we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are we going to do, Lynn?
Well, we're going to quit thinking of ourselves as just a tangible equipment operation,
Okay.
although that will certainly be part of it. But we're going to now start to sell intangible services as well.
Like?
Well, employee culture, consultants.
Okay.
Yeah, therapy, mental health therapists.
Okay.
And make them available to the owners or business owners or whoever that we know out there through our dealer. You know, we've got a dealer network.
Right.
All right. And so that's the first thing is to send the message through the dealer system to the clients and even prospects saying, you're in tough noogies, all right? This is a difficult situation. And we have a whole set of services, not just products, services that we are able to offer you to help you make the office magnetic and exciting and a place to be.
And adapt to at-home workers.
Yes,
Right?
well,
Well,
we'd
I
like
mean-
those at-home workers to come into the office.
Right.
Maybe 3 times a week instead of once. You know, the more they're there, the better. Because they do know that the problem is you can run an operation pretty well status quo. But if you want to innovate, you have to get together.
Yeah.
You have to see each other and kind of go up and down and go through an experience together. And you know, the remote stuff is very efficient, but it doesn't lend itself to that.
Zoom calls are not like
It's not the same.
in person. It's not the same. No.
But you can get a lot done.
Oh, you can
through
get a lot
Zoom.
done.
You can get off the phone and say, hey, that only took 12 minutes instead of an hour. And, you know, that was okay.
Go back to bed.
Right. But we're going to keep on going here. We're talking about bringing a whole array of value-added services to the owners.
Huh.
And one of them is realizing that with the internet, workers like to move. Mobility and movement is the key.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're in the office, they're out of the office. I'm going to go talk to that guy over there.
Right.
We'll have a meeting over here.
Right.
So, number one, all of furniture and equipment has to be on wheels or casters. All of it. So we can easily pull it over, let's collaborate, and we're gone. So there's a physical representation of the mental fluidity.
Right.
The second thing is this, is happiness. You know, John Clifton, who's the new CEO of Gallup, put out a new book recently called Blind Spot, and they did all this research with thousands, tens of thousands of people, workers around the world, and the number one issue is unhappiness. People are unhappy, see? So at the same time, 20 years ago, this Czechoslovakian, Romanian guy named Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, I'm sorry to say that name, but that's how it was. He's a brilliant, genius man.
Wow.
He wrote a book called Flow. We've heard of Flow.
Yeah.
Sure. 20 years ago, it was a blockbuster hit, and it's changed the life of many professional athletes and all kinds of people. And the concept is get in a flow mindset. So there is no barrier, no ego, no stopping. You just fluidly move from one task to the next, and you're always peak. You're not pushing so hard that you're uncomfortable. So the idea is get the right job, get in the sweet spot, get in the zone.
And keep yourself open.
Right, and stay open to what's happening rather than, no, I don't want to do that, no, I don't want to do that. Be fluid in your mindset, and you'll be fluid in your physicality.
Wow.
But that's the notion. So you have a new mindset. He calls autotelic is the word, the autotelic mindset,
Really?
which
Okay.
is everything's cool. Everything is a gift. And it's kind of almost a spiritual thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that comes at you is there for a reason. Move with it, flow with it, and so on.
Wow.
So we got equipment that's moving around. It's urban natural because it's wood and metal.
Yeah.
That's very trendy,
Yeah.
right? And it's also, we're teaching people, it's almost like mindfulness. We're teaching them to get in the flow. Not resist, don't be bored, but see everything is connected to everything else.
So would you start with
Training.
Changing the mind, training of the management,
Yeah.
of the top
You
down.
start at corporate, you stop at corporate, and you move through and you have specialized coaches online in many cases.
Right.
Saying, hey, we're here to help you, we'll work with you twice a week, and we'll get your employees thinking differently about work in general, happier about work, and plus, then that will attract them to this cool vibe environment where everybody's floating around doing their thing, working at their ultimate, right? We call it go with the workflow. Go with the workflow.
Okay.
That's the concept. We did it 20 years ago here in Omaha, Nebraska, and it was a home run grand slam.
Really? Wow.
That's right. That's right.
Well,
I'm not going to go into further detail about that, but we disrupted the whole industry.
Huh.
And we're going to do it again, only we'll be working through some type of a manufacturer relationship. So it's possible, business owners, it's possible to get people back in the office, make them happy to be there, equip them with equipment that's movable and reflects who they want to be.
I hope they adopt this for the thing in North Omaha.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
That'd be the perfect place to do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Bruce Aaron, thank you so much. Good to see you right here on Wild Biz Nebraska.
Thank you.
I'm Lynn Hinderrock. It's been a heck of a show. I appreciate you working with me on camera, and we'll see you again. See us next time right here in Wild Biz Nebraska. I'm Lynn Hinderrocker, brought to you by UrbanNaturalAmerica.com. Please don't forget, go see that video. It's very cool. All right. See you next time. Bye-bye.